guys, Icekraks here. So today we are back with another tune for Tune Tuesday, and this was suggested by one of my Car Throttle fans, actually. And wow, this is actually something that caught me off guard completely, especially as this is probably competitive with the Fairlady Z, 432 Fairlady Z as a drift nugget, because this thing drifts insanely well when you throw an RX8 Renaissance, I don't even know how to say it, Renaissance engine in, which is a 1.3 litre, two rotor engine basically, which is pretty insane for old Mazda like itself. So let's get into the tune and let's throw the RX3 motor, the RX8 motor in it, and get rid of the RX3 motor. Put the 2 litre, 1.3 litre 2 rotor in. The RX7 came with a 2 litre, I believe, 3 rotor, I believe. Anyway, but we're gonna throw this in, throw it in to the RX3. Something old engineering, new car. A new engine, old engineering, I don't know, what am I saying, Jesus. Throw a new turbo, throw a turbo in, get a little bit extra torque out of it, balance the torque and stuff. Body kits, I just threw the sort of the sport spoiler because it looks sort of cool. Instead of having no lip spoiler, I threw the sport rear spoiler on. No front bumper. Tires, these are narrow as shit tires, so I had to put the street tires as always, but had to pretty much crank the width of the tire all the way up because, as you can see, these started as 155 tires. They're narrow as shit, and I had to crank them up to 205s. Same as the rear tires, 155s, had to crank them up to 225s. They're narrow, and still very narrow for a drift car. Why do that? Anyway. And I changed the rims, not to some of the sport style rims because it doesn't really match the area of the car, but to some of the specialized rims at the end. I actually went with one of the rims towards the end, the Magnum 3 Wed Racing rim, because it sort of just fits in, I guess. It doesn't really look too out of place, I guess. And sort of increase the rim size, because I don't really like the 13-inch rims, so increase them up to 16-inch rims. They're a bit big for this car, but it's all about the aesthetics. I'm gonna go drifting with very thin tires. So. Drivetrain, put pretty much every single racing part in. Just put the gearbox, clutch, driveline, carbon fiber driveline, and two-way differential, because that is one of the key parts to drifting. You need a differential. I'm pretty sure the RX3 comes with an open diff, as most cars did in the past. So you get a lot of one-tire fire when you get an attempt to do that. When you attempt to do a drift and burnouts and stuff. So put some race brakes in, put some racing springs and dampness so I can tune everything, put some anti-roll bars, racing anti-roll bars in, things like that. If it wants it low, that is. Put the roll cage in, because the car is light as shit as well. It's less than a ton car. So no weight reduction, because if you can see, if I put race weight reduction, it puts down to 800 kilos, which is already too light for the car. For the engine, I basically threw every single part in except the turbo, because that is sort of, basically, turbo sort of plays around and messes up the torque curve and power curve. It sort of spikes it at some point and sort of makes the car much harder to drift, because you get a power spike midway through drift, because you'll be revving and then power spike and then you spin out of control. So you can see it sort of spikes it at a really bad spot. So basically just leave it. You basically, for any drifting, you want a very smooth power curve. Usually naturally aspirated motors can do very well, unless it's very aggressive drifting, which is a different story for the flywheel in. So that's all the parts, and now let's actually tune the car up, because that's where you can fine-tune the car and get the car to drift like a dream. And this is, since it's an old car, you have to take in some considerations, because the old anti-roll bar system is a bit soft for the car, so the body tends to roll a little bit more when it comes to old cars, so I had to make everything a tiny bit more stiffer. I did change the gear ratios a little bit, I did change up the gears a little bit, made them a little bit nicer for getting on the power. 350 is 3.5 is final drive ratio, 3.30 is a first gear. Let's go over there, I shot it. 2.10 for the second gear, 1.50 for the third gear, 1.16, and yeah, I didn't really change the fourth, fifth, and sixth, to be honest. They don't really need to be tweaked. Put 2 degrees of negative camber and 0 degrees rear camber. Put 5.5 degree toe out and negative 0.5 in, and 5.7 caster. And this is where it sort of acts a bit funny, because the suspension, you have to sort of consider it's an older car, so there's a lot more body roll. So I made the anti-roll bars much stiffer than I usually would. Usually I have a 11-16 setup. Now I have a 11-22 setup, basically. don't really tweak the rear anti-roll bar. Basically, 1622 made the body roll a little bit less. And I stiffened up the springs overall, but I didn't make them insanely stiff because that would cause this car to be really scarcish and all over the place. So I put them up to 91 kilograms per foot per millimeter. I don't even know how to say the numbers actually. I don't even know what it is exactly. But I basically made the rear and the front springs stiffer a tiny bit, but not too stiff, so it doesn't act all weird when it goes over things. And I left the ride height pretty much stock. Rebound stiffness, pretty much did the standard 4.1, cranked them, turned them down, make the basically rebound and bump stiffness, make them soft so you can run over curbs, and make sure you don't the car doesn't act funny when you run over a curb. Downforce can't adjust because I didn't add anything adjustable. Brake bias, 40%, 150, pretty standard, what I usually run. And rear differential, for differential, 80, 60, you can run them 100, 160, you can run them however you like, but that's how I run it. So that's the tune. A very quick rundown of the RX3 drift tune. So let's take it to a public lobby and see how it goes. But yeah, for Bernese Alps Festival Circuit, one of my favorite tracks actually from Forza 4, Forza 5, and Forza 6, and this track has always been a staple of drift circuits after Fujimi Kaido and Forza 4, but Fujimi Kaido still got removed from, oh god, there's a lot of vehicles in front of me. Fujimi Kaido got removed from, oh god, getting way too close. Someone just casually ghosted through me. Alright. But Fujimi Kaido got removed, and that is the go-to drift circuit, because it was just, well, toge racing pretty much a majority of the time on that track. I need 40 for this corner, yeah. Pretty much toge racing for, oh god, you're getting way too close, Mustang, I went Dodge Charger. You're going three-wheel in life. There's also an S13 right in front of me that has a lot of vinyls and things on it. But yeah, Fujimi Kaido was the go-to toge track, and just drifting in general, especially downhill circuit. I love the downhill circuit. But they sort of removed it, and the guy just smacked straight into me, unfortunately. And that guy's three-wheel life, and oh god, there's just people everywhere. Don't smack into me. Had to. Yeah, this is carnage. This is a very big lobby. Very big lobby, and people are everywhere. Jesus. But yeah, Fujimi Kaido used to be the drift circuit of choice, but unfortunately they removed it, and it's no longer in Forza. I want it back, please. I want it back. Anyway, oh god, hello, RX8. You're probably running the same. Actually, no, you're running the probably 4.0 racing motor. Drop it into position, get it, bring it in. So we're gonna run the whole wall, run the whole section. Yeah, 10k, boys, 10k. I'll take it. And thank you, Xbox, for recording that. Drop it in. In a line. Keep it on the white line. Oh, a bit too much angle. Biting the car a little bit, even though it's actually quite a good car. The Drift Nugget, that's what I'll say. Oh, going wide. That's cool. Cool. Let a lot of speed flicking it. Going down the hill. Wall drag. I love it how that spot doesn't take your points off instantly, because they expected people to smack into the wall and tap the wall and stuff, and just sort of drag the wall a little bit. Nugget of a drift car is insane. Manji. Someone quit. Oh, what are you doing, RX8? Getting way too close to the proximity markers. Okay, thank you very much. At least I can take 4, hopefully. That was a terrible, like... Oh, get more points. Get more points. More points is needed. Oh! Race finished, and I take second, which is completely out of the blue, because Forza's lobby system is terrible sometimes with the leaderboard system. But yeah. So yeah, this RX3 is quite the drift nugget, as I've called it all video long. And yes, this will be in my file share as a downloadable tune if you're too lazy to set the car up. And I don't know, just play around, I guess. It will be called Drift Nugget in my profile. If you can't find Drift Nugget, go look up my gamer tag, Icekraks, in the file share, and you'll find the drift tune for this car. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little sort of tune build for Tune Tuesday. Icekraks out.